in Musk we trust, Elon Musk saying ex-users who use the terms decolonization and from the river to the sea and other similar euphemisms that necessarily imply genocide will be suspended from the platform. A user went on to challenge the ex-owner, saying so many influential accounts here support Hamas massacre. Will you suspend them? To which Musk replied, anyone calling for a genocide of any people will be suspended. Clear cut, but too little too late, or thank heavens, finally. Fellow at the Tel Aviv Institute, David Christopher Kaufman, aka DCK, joining us now with the good, the bad, and the God knows what. Well, David, let's start with the good. Good news, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, of course, and good morning. Of course, it's good news. I think it shows at this point that tech leaders, business leaders, cultural leaders are willing to take a stance when there are clear examples of anti-Semitism, when the social contagion, as we might call it, anti-Semitism, begins to run rampant through social media as it has over the past few weeks. At the end of the day, Twitter is a privately run company, and the only person who really has any responsibility and any authority over Twitter is Elon Musk itself. And I think the last week, the saga, or the last few days, the saga of Elon Musk and Twitter, his endorsing of an apparent anti-Semitic tweet, and then his the fallout with millions and millions of dollars in advertising revenue lost by big advertisers like Apple and IBM and Disney, and then now him sort of switching tacks and saying that we're going to go after anti-Semitism. This is really all about Elon Musk, as Twitter and X has always been. It's always been a story about Elon Musk, who seeks to insert himself into the political and public sphere and impose his worldview upon the United States and the rest of the world.
So, Mr. Kaufman, this is the scary part, so to speak, because we're not talking about a moral stand here. We're talking about where the winds of the dollar takes you.
Yeah, I mean, of course, this is a reaction to a loss of advertising revenue, millions and millions of dollars worth of advertising revenue that was lost over the past few days because of Elon Musk's apparent endorsement of a sort of fringe, ultra-right nationalist radical ideology called replacement theory. But again, we shouldn't necessarily be surprised at Elon Musk's actions. Number one, he basically bought Twitter, which he renamed X, as a reaction to what he saw as extreme progressive and liberal encroachment on the platform and into both tech culture and pop culture in general. So we know that we know that he holds a sort of right-wing view of the world. Also, over the past year since he bought Twitter, the ad revenue for Twitter is heavily reliant on advertising, has plummeted by billions of dollars. Twitter has lost millions of users, and Elon Musk still doesn't really seem to care. He still insists on lobbying verbal and digital grenades all over his own platform and all over the political culture. So I think Elon Musk is going to do what Elon Musk wants to do, and he's going to sort of clean up his messes as they occur on a day-by-day basis. He's brought in some very seasoned tech veterans to kind of run the business on a day-to-day level. But truly, at the end of the day, this is his show, and until he takes a real personal hit, until he's really takes a real personal consequence to his actions, I think we're going to continue to see Elon Musk act in sort of egregious, almost comical ways, and then try to clean up his messes afterwards, as we've seen today.
Yeah. Question being, again, what happens if tomorrow morning it becomes profitable to hate Jews again or something of that sort? But meanwhile, on TikTok, all hell goes loose. Jewish celebrities Sacha Baron Cohen and Amy Schumer and many others having a very angry call with TikTok chiefs in the U.S., calling on them to do something, anything. Can we really get the Pandora back in the box?
I mean, there's good news and there's bad news here. I mean, beyond we were all focused on X and Twitter and Musk because he makes for a fun target. But I believe that TikTok is a much bigger problem here, and this whole idea of social contagion is really centered around TikTok and Instagram. What we've seen, though, is that TikTok does have the power to dial back and to implement policies where clear examples of anti-Semitism and hate exist. I mean, and not just when it comes to Israel and Hamas. I mean, TikTok does have the ability to control what its users are viewing, and they can basically take down posts and take down topics that are harmful to society. But this is a bigger issue about TikTok. Jews and anti-Semitism are often what we call, symptoms of a larger problem, canaries in a coal mine. The perfect example of that. The problem with TikTok isn't that it allows hate and anti-Semitism to run rampant. It allows all kinds of horrible elements of society to run rampant. Whether it's teenage girls who are starving themselves to death or other things like that. I mean, TikTok is a major problem, and the U.S. and the U.S. government is doing something about it. We are aware on a governmental and policy level that TikTok needs to be reined in, but it's very difficult. Every piece of legislature that's been put past the Congress has sort of stalled. Biden himself has banned his cabinet and banned federal employees from using TikTok. But there's talk now that he might work with influencers or might himself go back on TikTok, go get on TikTok for the campaign because he needs those young votes.
Well, it seems not to be a question of if, but of when there'll be a more serious address of the TikTok problem. We will wait and see. David Christopher Kaufman, fellow at the Tel Aviv Institute, thank you very much for this. This is it for us for now, but we'll be back at the top of the hour. Thank you very much for watching. See you then.